Okay, these are my two little tomatoes just got planted. One is beefy and one's sweet. I had to dig all the soil out to make sure there were no invasive roots, which they usually are. They come from underneath. Now in these larger ones I put in, there's old engine, 250 horsepower engine covers. I put them to try and protect the soil from being attacked by surrounding trees. But as you can see, look at this. These roots just grow right up. This is 1 year's growth. They've come up through the bottom, through the small drain holes, and invaded the soil. And this had compost in it, that's why it's funny. This is my main soil here. And this is all the roots that I managed to just get out by running my hand across the top and not really sifting it, but just running my hands over it and sort of trying to get rid of the roots. What's wonderful about the soil is I also have some snails. I'm not snails. I have worms. There's a worm, and there's another worm. They might have gotten cut up a bit, but I think even when they're cut up, they can multiply or survive even getting cut in half. If I remember right, there's another one. That's nice to have all these worms. Maybe I can wet them down and so the video can see them better. I'll do that next. Now these guys are kind of active. Maybe this is dead. But these guys seem to be intact. Yeah, so I picked out some more and cleaned the water. Show my wonderful Bahamian worms. I met somebody who was a specialist in worms in my brother's dive boat. He's telling me a lot of history about worms. Anyway, be interesting to try and breed them and propagate them. Create a worm farm to sell the worms to people. Not for fishing, but for their soil. So here you can see aggressive roots coming through a very small hole and invading the soil that's meant for my tomatoes. Okay, I drilled out the holes that had roots in them, and I'm going to lay in some ground cloth, fiberglass, to create a barrier and slow them down a little. Well, that's the first layer. Well, it won't be an easy task to get the soil in there and not get it around the edges and behind the mat. But okay, I put in my compost, old compost. I figured out what the white is. It's eggshells from my compost. So I put that in first for good drainage, and now I'm going to put in the other soil, and I think I'll mix it with some of the organic soil I have. So, and there's all the roots I took out. Coming along nicely. I'm scooping out buckets full and pouring them in, and none's getting behind the fiberglass, which is great. Here's my organic soil I got from FYP, very good price, with worm casting, so my worms will feel right at home. Okay, I put a lot of the organic soil all around and down deep, and then I'm putting my older soil around the outside, which I've done some mixing. Anyway, I'm hoping for a good crop of tomatoes this year. Okay, the final touch is to put some of this fiberglass bedding, whatever it's called, over the soil, and hopefully that will stop the white flies from nesting. They seem to like the wet soil and often nest around under the tree, but they lay their eggs on the leaves, but I understand they sleep at night in the soil, so I'm hoping this barrier will not only keep back the weeds, but keep back the white fly this year. Okay, now we've got our frame ready for a big beefy beefsteak tomato.